So you might have guessed Danny's not here right now, but he says he'll be along in about a half an hour or so. Um, yeah. So I'm just messing around. This is an old game. I mean, I say old. It's probably about 10 years old now. It's called Planetary Annihilation. It's a fun little game. Um, your basic RTS. And I was just fiddling around with it while I was waiting for Danny to show up. Only now he's not showing up for a while, so. And let's see. So, let's see. Mike Richards in the house. Good to see you. Bradley is here. The Trek Reviewer says hi. And 47 Yorktown is here. And thank you guys for showing up more promptly than my partner has. So hopefully he'll be along soon. Then I can stop playing this old game and we can get into the business of talking about some Battlestar Galactica and, time permitting, the boys. Although I don't know if time's going to permit for the boys because Danny's not here. So we'll see. Anyway, so while we're just kind of hanging out, I'm curious what some of you guys might think of all the, I know that Danny and I have kind of been on the outer fringe of things when it comes to the Acolyte. And so I'm genuinely curious as to where you guys tend to stand with it. I know there are some of you that just absolutely hate the show, and some that think it's okay, etc. So, curious about that, or if there's anything else you guys want to talk about until Danny gets here. I am all ears. See if you guys say anything here. Well, I am slowly marching my forces across this map. Of course, there are some people I know that would hate this game because it depicts the world as being a sphere. Uh-oh. Under attack.
Time for watching crap with Danny.
Done. Okay. I said done. There. All right. Stanley says biggest problem in Acolyte seems to the Acolyte seems to ignore the details. That's an interesting observation. So, what details specifically do you think it's missing? You talking about things like the fact that the one dude with the big cone head uh, is kind of based on extended lore shouldn't be alive, but honestly, based on screen what we've seen, I don't think they actually ever say what the lifespan of a species is or anything. So I don't know that that's as big an issue, but I can understand why if you're a fan of the extended lore that you get pissed. So modern shows are not planned out 100 episodes with great stories and characters being developed slowly anymore. They're made to cut a 2 hour long movie in each season. Well, I will say this: I think you're right as far as the Star Wars shows are concerned. Not all modern shows do poorly at this, but the Star Wars shows certainly, at least not all of them. But when you look at shows like Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, and now this one, they certainly do seem to, and Ahsoka, I would say it's also true of that show. They don't seem to have enough story to fill an entire season. It does feel more like, oh, somebody wrote a movie treatment and then they padded it out to be 8 episodes. And sometimes even saying it's padded out is an exaggeration, because the last 2 episodes were clearly, even if you're doing a show, those 2 episodes, the night and day, or day and night technically, really felt like a singular episode. So I totally agree with that. That is a valid criticism of a lot of these Star Wars shows. But I think you overgeneralize when you say TV in general, because a lot of TV isn't like that. It's just that the stuff that's made exclusively for streaming services seems to be. And the Star Wars and Star Trek content out there is generally exclusively streaming. I personally would rather, like, I think Strange New Worlds has done a far better job. I think that Lower Decks has done a better job. But even with those better shows, the seasons are painfully short. To the point where it just really frustrates me, because I want to see a 26 episode season of Strange New Worlds. So when they do something weird like was it Starship Rhapsody? Is that what it's called? Whatever it is, but the singing one. When they do something weird like that, it's not a 10% of the entire season. It's just one episode. So, and I think that they over budget these shows. It's amazing to think that each episode of the Acolyte collectively costs more than Godzilla Minus One. Let's see. You said passage of time doesn't correlate things like capturing the prisoners from the escape pods, but not investigating the crash ship. That was a little weird. I will grant you. I mean, unfortunately, look, Star Wars is not new to contrivances, because the funny thing about Star Wars is you have this built-in excuse. Anytime something is contrived, you just say it's the will of the Force. But at the same time, yeah, I agree. It doesn't make a lot of sense that they got the escape pods but didn't bother to go to the crash site. Unless you can argue that the escape pods traveled at hyperspace a significant distance away from the planet. Then I could see how you might be able to make that. But there was no dialogue indicating that. Like, if they had said the escape pods were found in hyperspace or something, then I could totally buy that. Acolyte needs more Kurogans. Oh, Mike, that would just make the show every bit as bad as some people say it is. Stanley says, sending a potentially dangerous killer home on an easily hijacked ship instead of just being escorted by the Jedi. I'll give you that. That was another weird decision. And again, I think it boils down to, we got to move the story forward somehow. Thomas says this is a weird BSG episode. Are you talking about the farm, or are you talking about the fact that this game is on screen? Because I don't know. I'm not good at picking up on sarcasm. Just various things that don't seem to make sense. The escape pods have hyperdrive. Hey, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know how because the thing about Star Wars is, it is true that technology in Star Wars is just space magic. They don't, it's not like Star Trek, where we care about the inner workings of a matter-antimatter reaction. Most Star Wars fans are just perfectly happy with saying, oh yeah, it's hypermatter, which is even better than antimatter, because hypermatter is cool sounding, and hyperspace is magic, and you can get across the galaxy in 5 minutes, even unless the plot requires that it takes longer, so nobody expects the technology to in Star Wars to really make sense. Now, in Star Trek, I think that we tend to act like Star Trek is hardcore sci-fi when it's not. It is definitely, there's a lot of fantasy and fantastical elements to their tech, but at least they try to make it seem plausible, you know. And I guess that's the big difference there. Man, where the heck are the bad guys here on this planet? Them Kurogans are hiding good. Um, and you should tell Dork that you reviewed the boys because he was late. I agree. I probably should. Just feels lazy writing his letter. Arminius would say, "Don't worry, it'll be fine." Yeah, I could totally buy that. Um, like they just didn't want to bother dealing with all the events logically, and it's such a dense galaxy. Yeah, but that's stuff that's had to do with Star Wars from day one. That's not this show. So I would say this that is the writing for this show really, really good? No, certainly not. Do I? The reason I don't get too worked up about that, and I know I said it when we reviewed the episode last night. I don't watch Star Wars for in depth character studies or or Academy Award winning acting or any of that. I tune into Star Wars because I want space wizards and lightsabers. That's what I want to see. And at least this last episode of The Acolyte, they definitely delivered on that front. So that's one of the reasons I really like this last episode, because if space wizards and lightsabers is what I want, then give me that. So I saw the review where the guy said that the Jedi that fought Darth Meth Head, shoot, it's going away. I'm not reading the chat fast enough. Let me go to okay, here we go. Saw a review where the guy said Jedi who fought Darth Meth Head didn't do so well because they never fought someone with a lightsaber trying to kill them. Well, I think it's more. Yeah, I think the Jedi were caught off guard. I definitely think that the Darth Meth Head had this huge element of surprise thing going. And, I mean, it's always been that the dark side is quick and easy as far as, getting your full max power levels going compared to the light side of the Force. And the Jedi generally always hold back, so there is that factor as well. The Jedi are known to always hold back because that's the Jedi way. They don't, they're supposed to be the good guys. All right, so found the enemy base. Oops, better run. Run away, Sir Robin. But now I know where they are. Ha ha ha. Let's put some defensive structures here. Because now I can bring in my big guns, which are these guys here. Bear with me, guys. I know now that I found this, I'll be able to end this battle soon. Let's see. Stan says, so the asteroid field that was what was left of Alderaan, not some random asteroid field that they randomly encountered in space. Right. Which is kind of funny. That they didn't put two and two together as far as, Alderaan was destroyed. Han was in denial when he said it. Details, the overall plot might end up being decent. I get that. Like I said, I think that you're making valid points there. That's why I was asking. So, the most boring lightsaber fight was Vader versus Obi-Wan in Episode 4. If you mean as far as choreography, and when you say Episode 4, you mean Star Wars, the original movie, I would agree. Let's see. And this was a better boys. Well, boys. Remind me of the Acolyte, just plain action. As far as this last, oh, you mean this episode of The Boys was better? I would say, and when we get into it, I'll talk about it in a little more detail. But I would say this episode of The Boys was probably the least offensive this season. Come on, flying killer sheep. Now look, I will tell you, as a child, I raised sheep. I grew up on a sheep ranch. And so I will tell you that is not an exaggeration. Sheep are much more deadly and evil than you think. No, in all seriousness, I busted up laughing at the flying killer sheep. I also like that they brought back what's his name from Vought and the guy from The Mandalorian. You know, I can never remember the actor's name, but I really like the fact that we got to see him again. He's a great actor, and he always adds a level of gravitas to whatever he's in. Can't dislike that. Oh, you're talking about the sheep. You can't dislike the sheep. No, you absolutely cannot. If you didn't laugh at those sheep, you have no soul. Let's see. Star Wars porn. Not sure why you're saying that. Thomas says, quick and easy. Sounds like Dork. No, I think it's quick and lazy is Dork. All right, so advanced defense enables more powerful defenses. Advanced defense, advanced fabricators. Okay. Triple barrel laser turrets and anti-air flak towers. That's nice. Complete air power in this game is not that good. So I think I'm going to take the advanced defenses. So in this game, you work on conquering a galaxy, and every time you conquer a system, you can explore it and unlock various technologies. And you start with 4 slots of technology that you can unlock. And so if you find something that you really want, but by the way, you can only check the technology once per system. So if you choose not to take anything from that system, you don't get to go back and get it later. But you can delete one of your existing technologies and put in a new one. And a lot of times, especially when you're full up, I think there's a thing that adjusts the probability of it. One of the technologies available will be an extra slot, and so and then that way you can put something in at the next system. It's officially episode 4, New Hope. Yeah, well, when I saw it in theaters, it didn't say episode 4, New Hope. It just said Star Wars. More dangerous than the killer rabbit, the flying killer sheep. Yes, definitely. Oh, the Breaking Bad Mandalorian guy. Well, was he in Breaking Bad as well? I didn't know that. I haven't seen Breaking Bad, so that's cool. So, what do you think? It's 8:15. See if he answers this time. We'll see how long he thinks he's going to be, because I don't want to initiate a new battle if Danny's going to be here any minute. So we'll see. Come on, Danny. So I do apologize, guys. I know that this is not what you wanted, but I gotta wait and see. He says 5 minutes. Let's do this. I'm telling him that I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes. So set timer. Oops. For 5 minutes. Start. No, not 50 hours and 5 minutes. Clear that. All right, 5 minutes. All right, so I have now it says 4:56, 4:55. We even got an extra 30 seconds or so. Let's see if he makes it in 5 minutes. Place your bets. We'll save and exit from here. All right. And go to layers and hide that one. There we go. And then back to the comments. All right. Bradley says, this game looks a lot like Sins of the Solar Empire, which I put thousands of hours into. Well, it is an RTS, but unlike Sins of the Solar Empire, it's more ground combat than space combat. Although there is some very interesting space combat. Not only can you build like nukes that you launch at other planets and stuff, but you also eventually build planetary thrusters, so you throw planets at other planets. I mean, when they say planetary annihilation, they ain't kidding. Tom says, so I have time to watch Return of the King Extended Edition? No. According to Danny, he'll be here in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. $500 Quatlus on Danny being late. Okay, there's Mike Richards' bet. Anybody else have... How many Quatlus are you putting down? So Mike Richards has 500 Quatlus on Danny being late. How, if somebody could put a bet down on how late he's going to be and get even more Quatlus. Because that's not, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The odds, Indy Tiger, 700 Quatlus against. So Indy does not think Danny's going to be late. Indy, that is the long shot. So I will tell you, if Mike Richards wins, his 500 Quatlus is only going to get him like 550 Quatlus. But if you win, your 700 Quatlus is going to get you like 7,700 Quatlus. So we'll see. He has 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So Indy Tiger putting 700 Quatlus down that Danny will in fact be on time. Do we have any other bets? Keep in mind the bets, you can also bet for how late you think he's going to be. Thomas says, Indy, turn off the debate. It's making you lose your mind. Oh, yeah, I forgot the debate's going, isn't it? So, did Trump actually show up? Because if he did, that's amazing. Let's see. Wow, he is actually there. I am shocked.
What up?
Whoa, Danny! You made it with 1 minute and 21 seconds to spare. That means Indy Tiger, you need to send him a prize pack, buddy.
Okay.
Because I was taking bets on whether you'd be on time, and Indy Tiger bet 700 Quatlus that you would, in fact, be on time.
Well,
so
thank you, Indy. Yeah, at Dork Knight LV on Twitter, DM me. I'll send you a Criticless prize pack.
Yeah, so there you go, Indy. You just won yourself a Criticless prize pack valued at over 7,700 Quatlus. Keep in mind, based on the current exchange rate, a Quatlu, that 7,700 Quatlus is about $1.05.
Is Indy a Star Trek fan?
Of course he is.
So, we said we were going to do this on air. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, you got those cards.
Yeah, let me turn my blur off. Excuse the mess behind me, guys. I'm still trying to unpack. So you guys can see. We're going to open these together. All right. I don't know if you want to blow me up or not.
Let's see.
This is from 1979 Topps.
Whoops.
Oops.
I'm trying to get it to go to a different screen, but I don't want to. It's fighting me.
So, only reason this one's going to get open is because it's already got, the packaging has been a little torn open. The other two I have been torn open. So.
Here we go. All right, let's hold on. Add to scene. There.
So, let's open this up. Oh man, right off the bat, these got to be worth something. Right off the bat. Look at this.
You gonna send him the gum too?
I am afraid to even look at the gum. Oh, you guys want to see the gum? Can you see it?
Oh, that's some shattered gum.
That gum is 45 years old.
Oh,
Crazy.
dude, come on. You gotta do it. You gotta do
Oh
it.
hell no! I'm
Come
not.
on, you can do it. It's
All right, check this out. So
just put this. It's you know what? It's just gonna turn into powder. Oh, there we go. We got Spock on Vulcan.
Spock. Ooh. You got Janice Rand.
Okay.
Ooh. It says spectacular starship on this.
Oh, nice. That is that, and that's one of those shots of the Enterprise when it looked its absolute best.
Yes. And wow, I've never seen this before. I would have been pissed as a child. Another exact same card.
Oh, wow. Duplicate Spocks in one pack, huh?
Oh wow, a pedophile. That's crazy.
Dude, you are such a jerk. And, you know, you shouldn't say that word.
He is a pedo, but whatever.
Yes, but you stop saying it.
All right. And now we have Beyond Infinity.
Nice. As opposed to Infinity and Beyond.
Again, these are 45-year-old cards. Opening them for the first time. This one's called The Landing Party. Okay. Return to the Bridge.
Yeah, so that's Kirk's first time on the bridge.
Now we have Transporter Malfunction. Here.
That's not that's in
I
the
know.
game room.
I know. It's ridiculous. Captain Kirk's Mission. What's the name of this one here?
Yeah, except that's Admiral Kirk.
Yep. Yep.
Boy, these guys are not good. You know, I wonder if that could increase the value of the card that they screwed them up.
Maybe. I think I might keep this. This is a sticker. And it's bones.
All right.
I might keep that one. I don't know. So, Indy, if you DM me,
He wanted the info again. Just look above Danny's head.
right here. This
It's
is it.
at Dork Knight LV on X.
I will include that with, of course, a Criticalist sticker and some other fun swag. But hit me up, and other than the sticker, because I'm going to keep that for me, let me know. I'll give you, let's see, how many are there? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll give you 5 of these cards. You tell me which 5 you want. If you don't care, I'll just give you 5 random ones. I promise I won't give you duplicates. And yeah, thanks so much for your faith in me. I appreciate it. See, faith in me will be rewarded.
Now, come on. Eat the gum, buddy.
Okay, I tell you what. If you guys give... no, that does me no good. I was going to say if they'd give you a $50 super chat. No, screw that.
So I like that. If you give me a $50 super chat, he will eat that gum. That
No.
40-year-old gum.
No. You got to send... We got to split the... Okay, you send... Well, this is fair. Send Salty 25 and me 25, and I'll eat the gum.
All right.
There you go. If you want to donate to me, it's in my description. it happens, I will. Ugh.
Yeah, come on, you guys
I
got
will
you know you want to see
45-year-old gum.
Yeah,
on
you
there.
know you want to see Danny chew on some 45-year-old gum.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Thomas is just saying it's too bad you missed out on the boys review.
Oh, the Kentucky Fried Chicken Massacre horror movie. That was.
The flying killer sheep,
Oh my God.
which is probably the most realistic thing on the show this season.
Yeah, that bunny rabbit was disturbing.
That's just a typical bunny rabbit.
Danny can't afford dentists. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
So, Battlestar Galactica: The Farm. That's what we're going to start.
Sweet. We're going to talk Battlestar. That's why I knew we were going to give the boys no time at all. That's why I just made it little text blurb on there.
Stan.
You do realize my girlfriend is very young and beautiful.
Yes, your current girlfriend.
Well, I mean, yeah, I did date the Crypt Keeper, my last ex.
Dude, that's not even nice. That's no.
What? I didn't name.
I'm
names.
gonna cry foul on that. That was not nice. Okay.
Wait till I show you.
I understand you have
text
some.
message she sent me the other day.
I don't give a crap. I know the two of you hate each other's guts, but you know what? I'm not going to tolerate you saying
First
things
of
like
all,
that.
I don't hate. Anyone.
You
In fact,
absolutely do. You
in
called
fact,
her
I
the
prayed for
freaking
her.
crypt keeper just now. Don't tell me you don't hate her and then you call her that.
These are jokes. They're jokes.
No. But that's not okay.
They're jokes.
Dude, you call a woman the crypt keeper, that is not a joke. You might think, ha ha ha, she's thinking, how am I going to put some strychnine in his coffee? Because that is not nice.
I will probably never see her again.
Yeah, I know, but dude, it's not. I'm just saying, if she actually heard you say that, that's really low.
Oh wow, Stan. No, she doesn't, and I can't. I can never have her back on the show now because somebody will slip and tell her. So that's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Everybody, remember, the next time she's on, we got to tell her all about his thing about Gates McFadden.
Luckily, she doesn't.
But
even
yeah,
get Star Trek,
do you know how
so-
bad that is? It's almost as bad as when I called Darren a beard splitter, and I don't think he even understood what I meant. So, do you know that one? It's a very old curse.
No, what is that?
A beard splitter. Okay, so on the surface level, it's just an old-fashioned way of calling someone a dick. Okay. But it has a very specific connotation because it was they were, and you have to think contextually as far as society at the time. This is like from the 16th century. Women of ill repute, prostitutes, were known to have big bushy gardens down there, and they were sometimes insultingly called beards. And so, if you are a beard splitter, you're a dick that goes into a prostitute.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Well, Trek reviewer. I mean, that's hardly an insult. I mean, I agree with that. I mean,
Dirk Benedict is better than Dork Knight. Well, yeah.
yeah, sure, I'll even.
And on other news, water is wet.
Right.
You know. If Dirk Benedict showed up and said, "Hey, Salty, I'd like to be your co-host, but I won't work with Danny," then I would never talk to Danny again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good
And
one.
and Danny would totally understand. He'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't talk to me either.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
kidding.
we're talking about Face from the A-Team. The guys, come on.
Well, I'm thinking more about the fact that he's,
Starbuck, yeah.
yeah,
So, Mercer, hey, welcome. I guess you'd probably let me know if you got your package yet. Ariel's not here, so I can't ask her. But welcome, Mercer.
And yes, Stan, part the hairs. That's what it's all about. That's what a beard splitter is. Good question, Trek reviewer.
No, I actually have a thing for her, too. So
Yeah.
there's that. Yeah.
Well, heck, you had a thing. What was the name of that one lady that was Alana Troyes, and you were trying to say how hot she was, and
Oh yeah.
then I showed you a current picture of her, and she looked like she belonged in a wheelchair at the old folks' home.
Yeah, yeah. I think her name was like Paris or something like
Yeah,
that,
like Paris Wynn, I think.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's winning, Mercer?
You know what? I have it paused on another screen so I can watch it later, and I was, because when I first went there, it was at whatever the current time was, and I went from, Trump was saying some nonsensical thing like Trump does,
Oh, it was
like.
France, not Paris. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. France win. Thank you. But Trump was saying something about like the killer sharks in the ocean and the batteries and all that, right? And then I rewound it a bit, and Biden was speaking. And it was like, yeah. And it's like one of these two people is likely going to be the next president. That is horrifying. That is absolutely horrifying. I'm sorry. I don't care which one you support. It's like Aliens versus Predator. Whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah.
All right. So, Battlestar Galactica of the Farm. What's your hot take on it?
Oh man. Good episode. Great sci-fi. First time watching it. Second time viewing.
By the way, you're kind of quiet all this.
First time viewing sober. Technically, second time viewing it.
Yeah.
Which is why I put sort of on the thumbnail for first viewing. And when the beer goggles are gone, Starbuck is fugly. That's my
Wow, dude.
yeah.
All you Katie Sackhoff fans, get out
on
your
Twitter, bro. It's right here.
get out your pitchforks. I don't think she's fugly. I said this when we were doing the watch along. I
didn't
think
say Katie Sackhoff. I said Starbuck.
right. Yeah, Katie Sackhoff is not like she's not my type, but I don't think she's like hideous or unattractive or anything. But Starbuck is such a skank that I would not want to go anywhere near that. That's my thing, her as a character. And Indy, I would say I would agree with that.
I've said that for years.
Yeah, I mean, and yes, Brewster's Millions, good movie. But I would say this seriously, and I say this. I know there's not that many people watching, but it starts with one person and it spreads. Look at the third party candidates. Find the candidate of all the candidates that seriously is closest to what you believe and vote for that person. If you cannot vote for any of them in good conscience, then write in someone you could. Whether it's your dad, your mom, yourself, whatever. But I do think it's your civic duty to vote, but I also think it is your duty, your absolute duty to vote for someone, not to vote out of fear of someone else.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I have a very simple reason. I am not ashamed to publicly admit that I am voting for Donald Trump. End of story.
Yeah, because you're stupid. Yeah, I understand.
No, because the best 4 years of my life were under President Trump.
You do realize, though, that
the worst 4 years of my life have been under President Biden. He's the worst president of my lifetime.
See, here's the problem with that. I know this is not the subject matter of today's episode, but where I have a problem with that. Look, don't get me wrong. I disagree with a lot of Biden's policies, and I wouldn't vote for him. But at the same time, most of the problems you're having right now are because the economy tanked. And the reason the economy tanked is not because of Joe Biden. And that's the mistake that you're making. It's not Joe Biden broke the economy. The economy broke because the government under the careful administration of Trump gave away, $1 trillion during COVID. and shut down the economy for a couple of weeks. And that's why the craziness going on with the economy is not just America. It's a worldwide recession going on. And we're seeing huge inflation numbers across the planet, in large part.
Not just that, but do you think Russia would have invaded Ukraine if Trump were president?
I don't think that has anything to do with. Well, you know what? I think that's bullshit. I'm sorry. People that say, "Oh, Russia wouldn't have done this" or whatever. First of all, that's wild speculation. You have no way of knowing what Putin. Okay, so I have, so I don't know if Putin would have invaded the Ukraine if Trump were there. Maybe, because for all we know, Trump was making some underhanded deal that would have put us in a worse position. We don't know. I'm not, and that's not what I'm not here to speculate about stuff. But when people say, "Oh, the economy was bad because of Biden," no, the economy was bad because the government shut everything down and gave away $1 trillion. And that's why the economy went sour. It has nothing to do with like Joe Biden not wanting the oil pipeline. Yeah, I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. But you know when you're going to see that economically, as far as real numbers of gas prices and stuff, a decade from now. You're not going to see it overnight because the pipeline hasn't even been built yet. So not building something is not going to have this huge effect.
Is that better, Mike? I turned it.
That's much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry. I think that trying to,
if the Democrats had their way, everybody would be getting free money.
Dude, I'm not endorsing the Democrats, and that's the problem. What I'm saying is, I couldn't vote for either one of these two idiots. I could not, in good conscience, vote for Biden, whose policies I think are absolutely terrible, or Trump, who I think is horribly corrupt and a narcissist and, quite frankly, dangerous. I understand that some people think that I'm crazy for saying that. But
let me ask you this: were we engaged in any wars under Trump? I'm just curious. Were we?
Dude.
Because some people argue that we were, but they're counting Afghanistan. But I don't think that should count. But whatever.
Oh, well, then nothing that happened under Obama should count either.
Well, that's not true.
No, Obama didn't start any wars.
What about Benghazi? That was under his watch.
That was an existing conflict.
Oh, okay.
And we're not at war with Benghazi.
Okay, fair enough. Look, if people take your advice...
And Ed, I agree. A choice between a douche and a turd sandwich.
It is. But if people take your advice and vote for, you're throwing a vote away. Okay?
See, but that's the problem.
It's a two-party system. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Hold on, Danny. The only reason you're throwing your vote away is because everybody's convinced you're throwing your vote away. If people, and this is why I said it starts with a few people and it has to grow. You can't just say, "Oh, I can only vote for the turd sandwich or the giant douche," because if I vote for Golden Boy over here in the corner, well, since turd sandwich or giant douche are likely going to win, then voting for Golden Boy doesn't do anything but throw my vote away. But guess what? If you live in freaking California, your vote is going to turd sandwich. Period. If you live in Oregon, your vote is going to turd sandwich. And if you live in Tennessee, your vote is going to giant douche. If you live in Mississippi, your vote is going to giant douche. So, if you want to talk about your vote not counting, the Electoral College is pretty much already taking care of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay?
we should get rid of that, but...
But you know what? Then if they got rid of the Electoral College, the Republicans could never win.
I don't know about that. I think a lot of people...
When was the last time a Republican won on the straight-up popular vote? I'll give you a hint. It was not in the 21st century.
Yeah, it was...
It was George H.W. Bush.
It was George Bush, yeah. Senior.
Right. Which means that Gore would have won in 2000, and Hillary would have won in 2016 without the Electoral College.
So Thomas Potts, that worm guy you're referring to, RFK, I actually like that dude, but he
But you
doesn't
see,
have the.
but you know what?
Republican
Here's the
nom.
problem. If you like him, then vote for him.
He's a Republican and he didn't get the nomination, so you can't. I mean, you can write him in, I guess. but what's the point of
I
that?
thought he was running as an independent.
Is he now?
I thought he was. Maybe he's not.
It
but
might
thought-
be. I don't know. I've been out of the loop. Really, I'm just.
And in Indy, you are 100. I love that line. It's one of my favorite lines from that episode, and it's 100% true. We cannot effectively change this country if we're not willing to be the first person to cast that vote that's not for one of the two major priorities. And so that's why, you know what? I am not going to vote for the giant douche or the turd sandwich. I simply am not going to roll over and say, well, it's got to be one of those two, because the longer we say that to ourselves, the more that's throwing your vote away. Because
Didn't Bush Jr. get more than Kerry in the popular vote? Somebody fact check this. I could be wrong.
I don't think Bush got the popular vote in either of his. I know he didn't in 2000.
I know he didn't in 2000. That
Yeah.
I know. I remember that.
Yeah, he definitely, but that would have made it so he never got elected in the first place.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So
you know,
yeah. But
and
boy, don't you guys miss him now?
you know, but yeah. In fact, George H.W. Bush was not only the last because Clinton never got the popular vote either. Because mainly because of Ross Perot. So
Yep. I was a Ross Perot guy.
yeah, but the so
look at
Thomas
that.
says Bush did win in that one, but Bush wouldn't have been running for re-election if we didn't have the Electoral College. And don't get me wrong, I actually am a supporter of the concept of the Electoral College. However, I also, and you know, I've said this before, but I also think that we need to break the conspiracy that the Republicans and Democrats have had for the last 75 years to actively prevent anybody else from getting out.
You know what, Planet X, let's get to Battlestar. Like, if they want to talk politics or watch people talk
Yeah, because there's no
they'd watch
politics
the
in
debate.
Battlestar Galactica. We know that.
They'd watch the debate. So let's.
Yeah. So we're going to get to the nice, calm subject of forcing women to have babies. So yeah, that's...
Yeah. The opposite of what Starlight did.
So here's your favorite scene from the whole thing is Starbuck running around in her underwear. So we open up with Starbuck running around in her underwear after having just had sex with Anders. And by the way, in a radiated post-apocalyptic world, you know, whatever. And so Starbuck, for those of you that don't know, in recent episodes went back to Caprica to try and retrieve the Arrow of Apollo, an artifact they need to find a map supposedly that's going to point their way to Earth.
And if you guys want to get caught up on my channel and on Salty's channel in our archives under live, you can see
our old BSG reviews.
Yeah, and much to his dismay, I made him pick up where we left off on the reviews, not where we were, because we were about a season ahead watching it. You know,
we were watching the Escape from New Caprica.
Yeah,
when we stopped. But
so and I still haven't. So no spoilers after that. I haven't seen anything after that in the chat. So keep that in mind.
So Starbuck and Anders are, besides screwing each other, are also planning to do some raids against the Cylons, because that's what they do, because they're resistance. And so, amazingly, on Caprica, they have old school trucks and Humvees. That's like...
And you asked a good question. Where'd they come from?
Well, this not on Caprica, but
Oh, that's
on,
right, on New Caprica.
Yeah, on New Caprica, when they're driving around in trucks, I'm like, where did those trucks come from?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see that license plate. I don't know if that. It's be funny if that's just a
FB42E3.
Well, no, I'm trying to see like this above it where it says where the plate is. I think it'd be hilarious if it said Vancouver,
Right.
Because that's where this was shot. Yeah. So they're getting ready to do this raid on a Cylon encampment when they're ambushed and Starbuck gets shot. And of course, because she has plot armor, the shot only goes into like her, kidney. So she'll be fine. Don't worry, folks. Spoiler alert: she does have plot armor. All right. Meanwhile, on Galactica, everybody is cheering because this is the first time that it's still Commander Adama is back on his feet after getting shot by Boomer. And because he took you thought he was dead. I remember you freaked out when he got shot. But yeah, they spent several episodes. This is, I think, the 4th episode of the season, something like that.
It's episode 5, season 2, episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5. So they had 4 full episodes where Adama was just lying there in a coma, and Ty was in command, doing all sorts of really bad things.
Yep.
So he's back on the bridge. Everybody's happy to see him. And except that, because of what happened before, I know we're not supposed to talk about politics, but the president and Adama had a little bit of a Mexican standoff, and Lee, Commander Adama's son, sided with the president, and so his own son and the president are now fugitives, and Adama has staged basically a military coup.
Yeah, but she's all gone full, well, she's faking it, but she's doing the whole religious zealot thing,
Well, is she faking it, though, or is she the prophesied woman? Because a lot of what she says, or a lot of what the scriptures say, supposedly, it matches up with her pretty well. So,
he becomes an admiral before the events of New Caprica that I've seen. So it's not spoiling for me. But.
Yeah. He's promoted to admiral right after Admiral Kane dies.
Yeah.
But then, so then we see Lee has enlisted the help of Tom Zarek, played by the original Apollo, because, which, by the way, I gotta love the fact that Richard Hatch here decided to basically take on a new role in the new show. He was violently opposed to this show existing, because he fought for over a decade to try and get a Galactica sequel series, which would star him as the new Commander Adama, because his dad died, obviously. So he'd been fighting to try and get that show off the ground for over a decade. It never worked out. Then when they decided to do this reboot, they asked him to come on board, and he reluctantly said yes as a one-time guest spot, but then his character was so beloved and he really enjoyed doing it, so they made him a major player.
Let's be real. He needed the money. Come on. It's like he wasn't doing anything else. He needed the money.
Well, he had a good job over at Domino's Pizza.
Super chat.
And thank you, Con! It says, Admiral. Never told me that Admiral Adama. All right, so here's a question. Strategery. We'll use the George Bush word.
Strategery.
Who's better at it? Kirk or Adama?
Strategery.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Adama, probably.
See, I
don't
would
know.
say that
Well, yeah. Adama.
one on one, I might go Adama, but Kirk has a much deeper bench as far as support.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Kirk great is he turns to Spock and McCoy and everybody else to come up with a solution. Whereas who does Adama have? The drunk guy, a couple of traitors, his Starbuck who's also drunk half the time, So I think that Kirk wins as a team. But Adama is like the Michael Jordan. He's the strong single player.
Okay.
Star Trek reviewer says Rear Admiral Dick Hatch. Oh, goodness. That's... So they come up with the idea that the best way to sow dissent amongst the fleet, because they need to break off from the fleet and go back to the planet Kobol to try and get to this chamber that has a map to Earth. Mm-hmm. And so in order to sow dissent amongst the fleet, they come up with the scheme of having Lee make a recorded message appealing for people to help, because Lee
basically turning on his dad.
Yeah, essentially. Which he refuses to do. And that's when President Rosalind says she's going to play. She literally says, I'm going to play the religion card, which I have to say, that's some pretty on the nose writing for this show. But but basically she's going to play into the fact that most of the true believers of their polytheistic religion genuinely believe that she is the prophesied leader that will take them to the promised land, that she's their Moses, basically. Mm-hmm. And what helps is that, she's dying of cancer, and the prophecy said that it would be a dying leader. So then...
Man, I'm really actually pretty relieved that nobody's donated for me to eat that 45-year-old guy.
I'm really upset. Somebody needs to donate to get Danny to eat that gum. Come on, somebody
I feel
can do
good.
it.
I feel loved.
I don't think it's love as much as people not having the extra money.
Oh, thanks, Biden.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm thanking him. He made the economy so bad these people can't afford to make me eat 45-year-old
Dude, we agreed no more politics.
Jokes, sorry.
Just for that, you definitely need to eat that gum. Come on, guys. Don't you want to see 40-year-old gum that was made
45-year-old gum?
Yeah, gum that was made before Star Trek II. Because those trading cards, Star Trek the Motion Picture was the only Star Trek film.
Yep.
So, come on. You guys, you want to see that. Bradley said if I had the ability to give Danny, would be chewing that gum right now.
Oh, did I tell you? My girl and I figured this because this is really cool. We're exactly 30 days apart. So on the 4th of July, she's going to get her 5-month chip, and I'm going to get my 4-month chip.
Okay.
That's cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah. And Darren, as usual, is here to say something negative. Good to see you, Darren.
Oh, hey, Darren. Thanks for letting me know. Salty did that. I'll have to fix it on mine.
Oh, all right. So, well, and normally Danny would be spell checking the title, except that he was late.
I was late. Yeah.
All right. So, Starbuck wakes up in a hospital bed, and we are introduced to a new character, this doctor.
Which, by the way, Is this up on supportsalty.com, the watch along?
Not yet. It'll be up later today, probably.
Chat, does this guy look like a doctor?
Okay, yeah, this is Danny at his absolute most racist.
Oh, bullshit. It has nothing to do with race. The guy does not, no stethoscope, no glasses. Give me something.
Wait, why does a doctor have to have glasses?
Because, I mean,
I went to the doctor yesterday.
He's pretending anyway. At least try to look like a doctor.
I went to the doctor just yesterday, and she did not have glasses nor a stethoscope.
Okay. I'm just saying, he's making it up anyway. Oh, is this another Supernatural actor? I've been getting that a lot lately.
I guess so. I don't watch Supernatural. So.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But look, I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, he comes across as intelligent and capable and understanding. And he also, like many doctors, keeps a healthy separation of any emotional attachment to his patients. So honestly, I think that, and you know, Planet X, I misspelt it. I mean, that's just what the problem is that when I am typing stuff like that, it's hard for me to see spelling errors. And when you're typing in the title of a live stream, there's no spell check. It doesn't work there, which sucks, but you know, that's just the way it is. Anyway, but yeah, I think he comes across as a doctor just fine, but Danny kept insisting he's not a doctor because he's black.
That's not what I said. He just doesn't look like a doctor.
No, but we knew that's what you meant. Is that your girlfriend? Or is that someone else?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything.
You don't know if that was your girlfriend in the background?
Well, I mean, she's here. She's downstairs. But I didn't.
Is she watching the show?
No.
Oh,
no.
You should invite her up. We can talk. In fact, yeah,
Definitely
you should.
not.
Yeah,
Definitely
bring her up and tell her how this guy doesn't look like a doctor to you.
I bet she'd agree with me.
Okay, well, go get her.
You always get mad when you literally want me to go downstairs and go get her.
No, I want you to call her. So, because if you go downstairs, you could prep your witness by telling her, okay, so no, just say that he doesn't look like a doctor. You know,
okay.
So you need to, like, you know, yell for her to come up or call her on the phone while we can hear. And Planet X, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Have you guys both seen the? No, I have seen the entire BSG series multiple times. Danny has not. And so that's why we ask people not to post spoilers in the chat, because Danny, while he's seen up to the beginning of season 3, he has not seen the bulk of season 3 or any of season 4.
Correct.
However, that is $2 into the required $50 to get Danny to.
Well, no, it was 25 to you, 25 to me. I haven't gotten a penny yet. So.
Well, yeah, that's 50.
Yeah.
So, you know, so if I get 50, that's 50.
Anyways, isn't this your second super chat? You got $1 about Admiral.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's $3. So there we go. So we just need $47 more. Mm-hmm. So keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming.
Super
That's Planet
chat.
X's super chat. That was just the delay.
Oh, that's a heck of a delay. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
And all right, so then she's you know, kind of freaking out about what's going on. Danny was going to cry because she was.
No, I
crying.
wasn't.
You were getting a little.
You know what did make me cry, and it was the first time I've cried in front of my girl, and I had to explain to her it's just a thing. When Huey had to put his dad down like a dog. That got me.
You know, we're not talking about that show right now.
Oh, I thought we were already done talking about it.
No, that was a joke.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, man. Last week you only gave it a minute, so I was like, you know.
Well, I told you it depends on how quickly we can get through Battlestar. It's not my fault you're late. We only got an hour left, so.
Fair enough. Oh, well then go ahead. I got to dig up my trivia question real quick.
All right. So, the doctor comes back, is checking up on Starbuck. He keeps knocking her out with some kind of drug And so she's constantly just there. You know, they'll wake her up, they'll talk to her for a minute, they'll put her back down, and she has scars where the bullet hit her. But then eventually, I don't know if it's in this scene or later, but she sees a second scar there because they did another operation. Meanwhile, Adama has, this is a nice little scene. I mean, look, Edward James Olmos is always awesome on this show. And thank you, Thomas. Negative 27 years. You are 100% correct. No creep. Danny doesn't know they all die at the end, so don't give spoilers.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, when Adama's on screen, he is freaking awesome, almost without exception. And here he's talking to Tyrell about Boomer and the fact that how could she just be a machine because they cared about her, they loved her and all that, and yet she is just a machine. And then he finishes the conversation with talking about how there are copies, so he'll probably see her again. Just one of those things, like this whole thing is like this existential question of what does it mean to be alive? You know, are these machines truly living things, or are they simply programming gotten out of control? Meanwhile, the doctor is still hanging out with Starbuck and, you know, checking her business and letting her know that, you know, since she is a woman that can reproduce, she's more valuable than a Viper pilot. I think it is this scene where he calls her Starbuck as he leaves, and Starbuck's like, something wrong there. Another great scene. Edward James Olmos and, oh gosh, I forget his name. Hogan. Something Hogan. But these two have great chemistry together. And when they're on
Michael
screen,
Hogan. How do you forget his first name's Michael? That's your name.
I for some reason, Happy Hogan kept popping into my mind. So, but you know, Ty basically admits that he fracked everything up, as he said, and you know, Dom's like, "Well, we'll fix it," and he says, "You know, oh, is that her?
Yeah, what'd you want me to ask her?
Well, no, you just bring her over here, have her sit down." And
I don't think she will.
What?
Okay, and
He wants to talk to you for a second. He wants to. He probably wants to just roast me. But
No.
You want to talk to him? Nah, she's not up to it, bro.
Well, just you see. Remember what you said. You said he doesn't look like a doctor.
He
I had
doesn't.
to go back in last night.
Get him on the screen,
There.
babe. Does that guy look like a doctor to you?
Show him again, a different angle.
Bleeding
Did
to
you
tie
hear
up.
that?
Nothing
She
to
wants a
worry
different
about.
angle.
Everything's gonna be fine.
I mean, he got the doctor thing on, but no.
Thank you.
He's not clean enough.
Thank you.
Wait,
That's
wait,
exactly
wait.
what I said
did
last
you point?
night.
Did you explain to her that they're on a post-apocalyptic
No,
nuclear
that doesn't
wave?
matter.
It absolutely matters. Ask her if that matters.
Here, hold up. You don't have to get on camera. Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
Okay, you'll talk to him. Okay.
Second.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hey.
So, I know you're saying like he's not clean shaven, but you have to keep in mind this is a post-nuclear war situation, so they don't have like fresh supplies for everything. And so, given that, do you think that this looks like a guy that could be a doctor? Trying to treat, because he's in the hospital taking care of the patient, doing his thing.
I still don't see it.
See, Danny kept insisting he doesn't look like a doctor, and I'm trying to accuse Danny of being racist for it, but
That's why you want to talk to me.
What? What did he say?
He trying to accuse you of being racist.
Exactly. I wasn't.
well,
being
come on, he
racist.
is. You just don't know
See,
it
I told
yet.
you, he was
Trust
trying to
me.
make me look bad.
Blink twice if you need help. We'll send someone to rescue you.
Get out of here. But I mean, I know you say it's post-war, but how does he speak?
He
he
has
speak
a
like
he has a great. Let's see. You can hear it now, right? So let's see. Wait for him to say something. This is his patient, Starbuck.
Not shaved.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. All right, let's go.
Just a couple more tests, and almost said we'll be sending you back home. I guess we'll be sending you back into the fight.
Sounds good to me.
So did you hear him?
All I really heard was a couple more tests. I mean, anyone could be a doctor. Well, anyone can't be a doctor,
I
but
just woke up.
Anyone could pretend to be a doctor. Think he'd do a better job.
yeah.
Running back to see.
I mean, he don't have gloves on or nothing, no. Even though it's post.
Well, what if they don't have any gloves?
No.
I mean, Danny was sitting there saying, well, he doesn't have a stethoscope. What doctor today walks around with a stethoscope?
All doctors walk around with stethoscopes.
My
even the
doc-
nurses.
I have like 4 doctors. None of them walk into the room with a stethoscope on.
You better go check their credentials.
I mean, pediatricians, maybe. You guys, you're both racist.
I'm racist.
Yeah, you're just a white lady with a tan. Just admit it.
I'm just a white lady with a tan. I'm just saying. I mean, he's just not clean enough to be a doctor, in my opinion.
All right. Hello to Frank. Yes, I know you want to be the.
Why?
Bye.
She's had enough of your nonsense. Thank you, baby.
Now,
Thank you, baby.
now the secret's out. We know she's white.
What did you say?
You said secrets out. We know she's white. Went okay.
All right, so
I ate them all. There's another bag downstairs.
I wish I had an ice cream.
Okay.
and this is Danny's inevitable future because of the way he treats women.
Okay, babe. I was late. I got to give him a little extra time.
You were late.
Yeah, this is the second one. Correct.
You know, you never answered my text, by the way.
Okay. Okay, babe. She says she's going to go watch her TV shows that she will never watch in front of me. Was it, I haven't been looking at my phone. Sorry. Well, I haven't.
Well, you answered my later text. You just ignored the one I sent before.
Hold up. That's not you. That's not you. That's a different Michael. Setting a timer. You did not answer ETA. Wait, are you still streaming with him? Is that the one?
Yeah, well, yeah. When you said that you were late.
I told him I'd give him an hour because I was super late.
Oh, so you see, the reason you were late was not because you weren't home. It was because you were on another show.
I didn't say I wasn't home. I got home
Yeah,
very,
but
very
dude.
late. I'm trying to juggle stuff. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so Starbucks stabs him in the neck because she figures out that he's a Cylon. And
Because he called her Starbuck. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
And then she finds that all of her friends that are women are hooked up to these really, really creepy impregnation machines. So her friend's like, please kill us. And so she does. And she escapes, but then then there he is outside waiting for her because, of course,
Yeah. But oops. Oh, you missed it.
yeah, he gets
He
taken
gets killed
down.
again.
Yeah, he gets shot again. Then there's a big firefight breaking out. Starbuck is pinned down, but then Boomer shows up in the Heavy Raider, and they get away. Meanwhile, the president jumps away, and a bunch of other ships follow her.
Man, I'm sorry I was late. I was trying to, I was just too busy making money. It's hot in here.
You were too busy making money. No, you were busy on somebody else's live stream.
Yeah, where people there actually know how to. Oh, pay me money. Oh, lordy, lord, it's hot in here.
You're not helping your case. Just so you know.
Yeah. No, really. Well, never mind. I'll tell you later. No, but I actually had a really good day with the job today.
Well, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. Look at her. Look at that
Yeah.
face. That's like. It's like almost like a stink face, huh?
What?
You know, like when you smell something that stinks, like it's almost like
Well,
that
she was with Starbucks. That's what she was smelling.
oh, yeah.
So,
That was a nice little dirt face you had. It.
and so, yeah. So, by the way, I love the fact that his not basketball team logo patch looks suspiciously like a Star Trek patch
Yeah.
on his vest. So Starbuck is, she's sitting there thinking she's going to
mean
take
like
out all the
that?
farm.
Kinda looks like that.
What are you doing?
Kind of looks like that. Is that what you're saying? Kinda
Yes.
Suspicious. Yeah. Okay.
So he reaches into his convenient sinkhole that he happens to have a perfect container that has the arrow of Apollo in it. So he can give it to her and they can get it to the fleet. And she's like, well, we're going to come back for you. And, and then they kiss and she leaves. And that's pretty much the end. Until we get to this.
Major brainstorm. No bones.
There we go. So that is the farm.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
Well, because I have seen how that plays out, man, did they just really? This is all about planting the seeds for the ultimate mind f they do on Starbuck, which is crazy. But I actually love me some Battlestar. I didn't start getting bothered until a little bit later on when like that really dark episode.
The one with the black market.
Yeah. That so yeah, no, this is one of those shows where, especially after terrible stuff like Discovery, that is fun to watch, refreshing to watch.
But it is. Well, I don't even know if the fun is the right word, but it's engaging.
Yeah.
Because, fun kind of implies, woohoo, they're raping women and making them have robot babies.
Okay, poor choice of words there. But, engaging. Makes me, I want to see what happens next. I care about the characters.
Right.
Where a really good point that was made, I was reading.
Well, Thomas makes an excellent point there.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Anyway.
Yeah, because it's true.
Whatever. The
good call out, Thomas.
You guys are really trying to say my girl's doing the blackface thing. That's beat up.
I'm not. I didn't say anything about blackface.
You said she was really white.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
23andMe, baby, make her take the test.
Actually, we talked about that the other day because I was showing her my 23andMe. Because she did like Ancestry, and I did 23andMe instead.
Mm-hmm. And what percentage of her is white?
I have no idea. We didn't. Look.
Well, you said she did Ancestry.
I'll have to ask her about it. I didn't really follow up on that.
And yes, Wong, you heard him right. BSG equals fun to Danny. So.
Well, some of the episodes are
scenes
fun.
of women being strapped to giant robot baby making machines. That's Danny's idea of a good time.
Oh gosh, make me long for the days I was a drunk.
There's Dan. That's Danny's idea of a good time right there. Guy getting stabbed in the neck.
First of all, it's not a guy; it's a toaster. So there's that. You made me. I totally had something to say, and you made me forget. So it's all good.
By the way, let's not forget the fact that holding a piece of glass like that to stab the guy, her hand would be sliced to shreds.
Right. Well, you're also talking about the same woman who was, getting into fights and scaling steps right after she had her guts,
Right.
cut open and stuff. So
there you go. So what are you going to give The Farm?
I didn't think we don't do individual.
Well, it's not as serialized as like these Disney shows or anything.
It's pretty serialized, man. But I'd have to go back and see what I gave previous episodes because this isn't a great episode. It's not one of those episodes like remember back in the day when I was like, man, this was better than the last. This was better than the last.
You said this is my favorite episode at least 20 times.
Yeah. So this would not be. I would not say that in this instance.
Right.
So I'd probably have to give it like a 7, I guess, out of 10.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So there you go. Danny thinks women are trash and disposable.
That's totally not true.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
Golly.
Well, I understand it hurts, but hearing the truth. So, speaking of hurting, The Boys.
The Boys.
So, The Boys. So, Jabberwock, Beware the Jabberwock, my son, is the name of this episode. I don't know.
I thought it would have been some kind of play on Kentucky Fried Chicken. But,
Yeah. I did like this.
Don't litter, Kimosabi.
Yeah. Do you know what that's?
Yes, it's the littering commercial from back in the day.
Yeah.
But it was an actual Native American, not a whitewashed one.
Well, I think that's horrible, but yeah. So there, this episode of this, if this is how the whole series was, I probably would like the show a lot more. Because I like the irreverent comedy based on marketing through the ages and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of RoboCop, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when you stick to the story without inserting a bunch of political crap in there, the basic story of Homelander being so insanely narcissistic that he's a threat to everyone around him, and everyone around him just trying to figure out how to survive. That's way more interesting. I mean, basically, what makes The Boys an interesting show is the idea of what if Superman broke bad. Right? That's what Homelander is, right? What
I think he's a more realistic depiction of what would happen if a human had was bestowed with godlike powers. He wouldn't be all American Boy Scout like Superman. He would be like this.
Well, it depends on the individual, but I think that although I think they take it. I mean, come on, like why is he sucking on his mom's teat in the first couple of seasons, and he has bottles of breast milk in a secret refrigerator in his apartment.
That's some weird stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and he is completely. I mean, let's be real. He is completely psychotic. It's not just that. Look, if they wanted to do it realistically, which I think they could. If they wanted to do it realistically about the fact that if someone had these godlike powers, they would start to think of themselves as a god. I think that could be a very interesting storyline. But this guy is a straight up nut job given the powers of Superman.
Oh yeah.
So and I understand, like when we had the thing about the place where they trained him and were experimenting on him and what a horrific childhood he had and all that. I get that, but I mean, they really make it. They take it too far in a lot of this stuff, and then they hit you over the head with all the right-left political crap, which I think is really what's broken the show this season. Is all this in-your-face? Guess what? Homelander is just Trump. kind of thing, and I don't care for that. I may not be a Trump fan, but that doesn't mean that I approve of this kind of parody of him, if that makes any sense. But this episode didn't have all that. And that's why I think made this episode so much better. Instead, this episode focused on the characters. Huey, his dad was injected with some compound V. He was dying of a stroke. And Huey swiped some compound V, but then he changed his mind, but then his mom injected him with it. And all of a sudden he's better. And they're thinking, oh, that's awesome. Meanwhile, you have this firecracker who is on this personal vendetta with, what's her name, Starlight. And you see, again, if you take out the over-the-top political stuff, it's fine. Like if you just had, like with their backstory about them both being in the child pageant competitions, and Starlight started a rumor about her.
We were supposed to do this before. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Finish your thought and then let me do my thing. Sorry.
All right. But if they just so in the backstory, Starlight and knew Firecracker when they were little girls. She spread a vicious rumor about her sleeping with the judges of a contest, and that ruined her reputation, and she couldn't get anywhere in the pageant circle. That, in and of itself, is all you need. You don't need all the over-the-top conspiracy theory, everything that's right-wing she believes in crap. Because that just ruins the character for me. But if you have her come out of nowhere and all of a sudden she's got this big vendetta with Starlight, and you're trying to figure out why, and then you find out it's because that Starlight did her dirty when they were little girls, all of a sudden that becomes a more believable situation. And I find that part totally believable. But this whole thing with her taking on the persona of every conspiracy theory that right-wingers believe in just to manipulate right-wing, I don't need that crap. All right, so I assume you're going to talk about Critic List.
Yeah, the trivia question. Hold up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll do. You can pick the ad. So today we are doing. Let's see, which one of these? We'll do a. Oh, which sticker? We'll do this one here. I like this one. So you'll get this Critic List sticker, which is from
One of their T-shirts too.
Their T-shirts, which is a really cool T-shirt. Which
it's loosely inspired by 1984.
Yes, and I have also that will be included a PlayStation Experience from 2014, ultra rare. We've got 4 of a kind with an ace kicker here, and there are 4 5s, official from the 2014 PlayStation Experience that took place here in Las Vegas.
What is that? Is that like a poker tournament?
No, it was a big.
Why do I care about playing cards to say PlayStation Experience?
It's a big, because they're, you could sell them on eBay. And then this is a PlayStation, never opened PlayStation Experience from the December 6th and 7th, 2014 convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. Never open. Also, these exclusive convention buttons.
Okay.
There'll be some other cool swag in there as well. I'll throw in one of the Spock cards since I got a duplicate, and a few other things. That's the prize. Here's the question. And I'm looking for a very specific answer. You got to give me a complete answer to win the prize. And the question is, who in The Boys also starred in Xena, Warrior Princess? Who in The Boys also starred in Xena, Warrior Princess? And that's your trivia question for the day. And if you like this hat, you can go to shop.criticlist.com to pick one up for yourself. And of course, join us on criticlist.com or download the app for Android or your iPhone. And join the Nerd Fights group and join us in our movie reviews and water cooler discussions about all the fun movies and TV shows we like to talk about. There's that word fun again. All the cool movies and TV shows that we like to
But
talk
Mike Richards, this one is for you.
I wonder if there's any good movies out this weekend.
Would you like me to recommend you some new movies?
Ah! Oh my god, what was that?
Hello, my name is Lit. I am your in-car information system. I can give you recommendations for any type of entertainment. Would you like to hear about the most popular movies in theaters today based on critic scores from Rotten Apples?
Okay, yeah, I would actually.
The #1 movie in the country this weekend is about a homosexual chipmunk who learns how to play chess. This 4-hour epic displays 10 full chess matches in real time.
No, absolutely not. That sounds literally horrendous. I can't even believe that's real.
Okay, well, the second highest rated movie, with 98% on Rotten Apples, is about a poor starving girl living in the 1920s who finds refuge in a cannibalistic swinger commune, where they all learn the value of love while feasting on the flesh of the innocent.
Who's rating these?
These are ratings from the top film critics in the country.
I am so sick of this. Honestly, I'll just find my own movie.
Yes, because critics suck.
So, Creep is in the chat all bragging because he thinks that was an easy question and he thinks he gave the right answer, but you were only half correct, sir. And if you've won already, you are not eligible. So I can't remember if Creep's won.
Well, then you're going to run out of winners in just a few weeks because we don't.
And then we'll reset it.
Okay.
Got to let some other people win.
So wait. So how can that be half correct?
Because I didn't specify if it was only one. I said who in The Boys also starred in Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh.
I was vague for a reason.
Well, what about Gilbert Gottfried?
There's more than one answer. And I wanted a specific answer, which was all of the actors who also starred.
So Carl Urban and ... There
you
I
go.
didn't know Carl Urban was in Xena.
He was actually in 4 different episodes. 12 different episodes. He was 4 different characters in 12 different episodes. He was Julius Caesar, Cupid, Core, and Male.
Well, I never watched Xena, so...
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. So do you understand? Do you agree with what I'm saying though about Starlight and Firecracker's relationship?
I do.
It's if you didn't have the over the top, in your face political crap, this would actually make for an interesting show. And that's the thing that's kind of sad about it is that I get that the showrunner wants to put all this political stuff in his show, but it's hurting the story. And you have the potential to make a good story here and to make some interesting satire, but
Creep is the winner. DM me on Twitter. If it turns out you've won before,
and
I'll still send you your prize. It's all good because nobody else was playing.
But it might be laced with something.
Yeah. No. I'll put this. If nobody pays to make me eat it, I'll put this 45-year-old gum in there with it.
And I can't believe nobody wants to see you eat that gum. I'm really shocked.
We just,
It's probably because
tough,
we got a
Times are
small
tough.
crowd this week. You have to save it for next week.
Yeah, we really do have a small crowd this week.
And which I blame you for being late 2 days in a row. At least yesterday I had another co-host.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So speaking of Carl Urban, everybody hates him. Mother's Milk is trying to hold the team together, but he's kind of pissed off at everybody. And
he shaved his creepy mustache off, though, so that's nice.
And then this, oh man, see, this is the kind of crap that I don't need.
This blasphemy here, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, I get it. The showrunner hates religion. He hates conservatives. But man, do you really have to go so over the top with it?
Oh, Mom, you missed Jasmine. Welcome to the show, Mom.
Yeah. So
man, I thought for sure she was foreshadowing some
Oh,
stuff here.
I think she knows.
She has to know. Like she dropped that little. It's not like somebody could just run out with.
Yeah,
or
not
whatever
like
she
it just
said.
ran out on us.
Yeah.
But the so she's kind of dropping the line that she knows. But I think why I think the reason she hasn't exposed A-Train is because he's black.
Really?
Well, notice she is the one who is constantly talking about, like, remember when he called her Sister Sage? Of course, they got to put sister on it because I'm one of those.
Yeah.
She's the one that's constantly making references about race, not A-Train. Although A-Train does a little bit with that whole thing with Will Ferrell, which again, that is some parody that I thought was well done. Was making fun of the white savior films, and so that and it wasn't so hard on your nose, on the nose kind of thing.
Right.
And I do like that later, of course, that movie wins an award. So, because so true. But yeah, I think the reason she's gone soft on A-Train is because he's black.
Okay. See how that plays out.
Yeah. And so then we get Moff Gideon is being released from jail.
I think I'm wrong. I don't think Creep has won before. I think I'm confusing him with someone else. So Creep, be sure, DM me on Twitter, bud. Get your address. I'll drop this stuff in the mail to you.
So they're going to let him out so that he can help them get this virus that can kill Soups.
Oh my God, that virus!
And
that farm scene is so gnarly.
Yeah, they want the virus so they can kill his own daughter with it. Because she is even more dangerous than Homelander because she can just make people's heads pops, and she's indestructible.
You did win before, but you said I didn't, so no, I haven't. Damn. Well, your logic is sound, sir. Message me.
So then we see a little bit more of Simon Pegg as he's recuperating in the hospital.
Did he not have the best American accent he's ever done in this episode? He really did. I was impressed.
I'm not saying he didn't do a decent job with his American accent, but I'm just not a fan of Simon Pegg. I think he's so overrated. And I think.
Well, why do you think I'm complimenting? Like I'm saying, after how many years of acting, he finally got an American accent right? I mean, it's kind of a backhanded compliment.
No, that's what acting coaches are for. And so then she gives Huey her wedding or her engagement ring so he can give it to Starlight, and then she gets up to go, and Simon immediately forgets why she left, which is the big red flag that something is not right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these guys are on the trail trying to track down where the virus might be. They go to this lab, but it's been cleared out. And, of course, lovely daughter is there. And before they all kill each other, they stop each other. Then we get this whole scene. Will Ferrell, I got to give him props. He really makes these scenes work.
So, it's funny. After we watched this last night, she hadn't seen any other episodes of The Boys, but she sat and watched this with me. And then for some reason, we pivot after this. She wanted to watch Strays, which I'd never heard of, but Will Ferrell's in. It's a live action animal, like dog movie. Have you heard of it? Or
Yeah. I've heard of it.
I didn't know anything about it. So we started watching it.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailers.
Don't watch it. It's just bad.
It's like an R-rated version of the Journey Home or whatever.
Homeward Bound. It's it's basically an R-rated version of that. And it was just not good. It was, don't recommend it.
So they're also celebrating that they now have 2 black and 1 non-specific racial person with noir on the 7, and how awesome their diversity quotient is.
Oh my God! And how cringe and racist was this? Like they even cut to some black people in the audience that were offended by, like he's holding a beer. If you're watching this streaming thing and you're white, it's like a beer, but if you're black, it's cognac.
Yeah.
And then they cut to some people in the crowd who were black.
Which is something you would do.
Not at all. Are you kidding me? 'Cause I like cognac. Well, I did when I drank. I liked it. You know, it's not, you know.
So,
Of course, I have a. Never mind.
Yeah. And Homelander is now working very hard at corrupting Ryan, and he seems to be doing a good job.
Oh my gosh, it's disturbing later.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
he's like, yeah, we'll get to that.
So then they go to the farm, your favorite place in the whole world, and they find this dude dead, and they're like trying to figure out, well, what killed him, and they see eggs in the wound.
It's like, what? Yeah, this was creepy.
What the hell is?
Oh, dang. Oh my god.
So yes, chickens that have been given V.
No, they weren't given. They later reveal it was leaked into the
leached into the water
supply,
yeah.
and that's
Is
how
that
all these
Simeon?
animals ended up.
No, it's one of the.
So yeah, so there you go.
She looks
What the
almost
hell is-
unrecognizable from previous seasons.
All right, you watching?
Yeah. Oh man.
Ah, perfect. Look at that. That should have been your thumbnail right there.
Oh my god, that was rough.
So, look, I've said many times that, so the over-the-top gore, it's not the fact that it's gory, it's the fact that most of it is gratuitous.
ABJ,
This-
we already finished Battlestar. We did season 2, episode 5, The Farm. If you
Yeah.
want to, rewind and double speed and catch up, feel free.
But if you ever wonder what a Cylon chicken would do, it's right there on your screen.
Right?
So while I have objected to the overuse of gratuitous graphic violence, despite the fact that we have here a shot of a chicken flying through a man's chest, I don't consider this a gratuitous shot.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to stop it here. So we can talk about this for a second. When the violence and the gore serves the story, that's not gratuitous. When
Okay.
it's just there to be there, that's gratuitous. In this particular case, the fact that they were experimenting on farm animals and all that was a part of the story, and this is how we discover what happened and what went wrong. Now, do they take it a bit far? Yeah, by the time we get the flying sheep, it's a bit much. But at the same time, this shot here, totally not gratuitous. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to make sure I was clear on that. Because I know some people think I'm just a prude and I don't like the boys because I'm Mr. Christian kind of thing. No, I laughed my butt off when this happened. But I also, I when they revealed what was going on here, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So. Yes, Mike, 2 farms and 1 live stream. So after they manage to escape the chickens, we go back.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a dominatrix that's dominating.
Yeah.
He does.
And this was like a completely unnecessary thing where she's telling him to put like a vibrating stuff in his butthole when he's on stage just to, it's stuff like this that I don't care for.
Yeah.
Because this was unnecessary. And so then we get these two talking, and of course, fire. Is that a rib cage free chicken? Yes, it is.
That was good.
And Firecracker being stereotypically like Danny, kind of racist, and Sage being stereotypically an angry black woman.
It was funny. You just think I'm poor white trash. I don't think you're poor.
Yeah. And there's your favorite part, a bunny rabbit with tentacles growing out of it.
That was so sad. Because he was all like, oh, he let the bunny free. And then this happened.
Yeah. That's just weird. And so, and it's like, it's stuff like this that is gratuitous. Like he's like, okay,
No,
so
if it was gratuitous, they would have showed him.
no.
So
No, what I'm talking about is, okay, so there's that. If he had just stomped the rabbit and then moved on, I would have been fine.
But they don't show any of it.
No, it's this. Okay, so if that's the end of it, like, so after that, he turns around and walks away, I'm fine with it. That was unnecessary. And yeah, they didn't show the rabbit squishing under his toes, but you heard it.
Yeah.
You know,
I have a little theory. I think that remember when he blacked out last episode? And
well, he's obviously got little V snakes swimming around in his bloodstream and stuff.
I think he's got something like that, and that's what killed Ezekiel.
Probably. Oh, yeah. I obviously.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to remove his tumor.
I think that's why. I think the tumor is the black mass around his brain.
That's where all the worms live.
Is that thing?
Oh, so it's RFK.
It's
brain
RFK.
worms.
There you go. Yeah.
And so here we have A-Train telling her about how he's he's the leak, but dude, do you have to crunch right into the microphone? A-Train is fessing up to her and saying we need to help each other out, or else Homelander's going to kill us both. And then Dad...
oh, my God. This part is so...
Yeah, Dad starts going on a bizarre rampage, like a delusionary rampage, as he doesn't know what's going on. But he can... Yeah. And you see, this is another one that's, I think, a little too over the top. And I think it would have been better if we had not seen him actually kill anybody.
Oh, God, thank you.
So then...
this is the part where, like, yeah, he's going to be evil. He's just like, do it again and again. And then he's just like, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
He gave an evil smile while he's slurping on his,
Yeah. Yeah, so Homelander convinces him that, he's starting to become kind of sadistic and thinking of humans as less than him. So we'll see if that sticks. Because the funny thing is, like, my understanding is next season is going to be the last season of The Boys.
Correct.
So they're going to have to come up with a way to kill Homelander. Just saying.
I mean, do they have to?
Well, if they're going to end the show, I think so. I think that they need to give it some kind of finality. And so, okay, this scene really pisses me off. Probably more than any other scene in this entire series. Where Frenchie tells Starlight how he's a devout Catholic.
Right.
I mean, I would sooner buy Butcher being a devout Catholic than Frenchie.
Well, what I don't get is he spends the first 3 seasons, or however many she's in it, calling the chick, I forget her name, Noriko or something. No, that's from anyway, his heart. He calls her Moncour, his heart. And then in this
all of a sudden he's banging dudes.
It felt totally out of left field, totally forced. It's a subplot that if you took out would have zero effect on the show.
Right.
Overall. So this is everything with Frenchie is my least favorite thing about this season of The Boys.
Yeah, which is too bad. I liked Frenchie
I did too.
In the previous seasons, relative to the rest of the characters on the show, but whatever. So then we get the flying sheep.
Fucking crazy.
Well, we had the buffalo first, and then the sheep killed the buffalo.
But come on. Look at that.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
And I would tell you, as someone who raised sheep when I was a kid, it's not that far from the truth.
Go! Oh,
Creep, I totally agree, man. That's what I was saying earlier. Starlight looks nothing like she did in previous seasons because the actress ruined her beautiful face with plastic surgery.
Well,
when we were watching this last night on that girl you just had it paused on, I tell Jazz, I was like, well, she's dead. Well, how do you know that? Because I don't know who she is. And then like 2 seconds later, yeah.
Yeah, so there's one of the killer sheep there.
Oh, you skipped. I wanted to talk about how Frenchie is so.
Oh
stupid.
yeah, okay. So yeah,
this man is in no condition to fuck a sheep. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you idiot.
So yeah, they have one dose of the virus left. They inject it into this body, and they say because it transmits via bodily fluids. And he points out blood, saliva, semen. And so then they say we can inject it into him and leave him as bait outside. Keep in mind, this guy's just been murdered by the sheep.
Yeah.
And Frenchie's like, but he is in no condition to have sex with a sheep. And it's like, no, you idiot. They're going to eat him.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's like, come on, man. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it fell flat for me anyway.
Yeah.
It just came off as like, dude's a dumbass.
But yeah, then the sheep eat him, and then they have this massive barfing, and then drop dead. It almost had it.
And then they start falling out of the sky, like
Yeah, right there. The sheep just puke out their guts, and then they all just drop dead. And so, meanwhile, Homelander says that they found the leak. And it's this guy, even though obviously he wasn't the leak, but they found phone records and everything that show that he was in contact with the boys. And of course, it wasn't really him. It was his now ex-girlfriend set him up.
Oh, this is the scene that made me cry.
And and right here, so Simon Pegg decides he does not want to be in The Boys season 5, and so they terminate his contract with extreme prejudice by injecting him with poison and then hugging him as he passes away.
That was gut wrenching for me, man. That was so
it was
sad.
a good death scene. I'll give him that, but the problem is that I didn't really care about his character all that much.
I cared more about Huey. I agree, but I cared more
Huey,
about Huey.
yeah,
I was
Huey,
crying for Huey, not for.
And I will say this: what's his name that plays Huey? And of course he's and he's also of course
Meg Ryan's kid.
Boimler on Lower Decks.
Yes,
he absolutely brought it. He he was awesome in that scene.
Yes,
Simon Pegg was all right, but I didn't really care about his character that much. All right, so then we find out that they found this guy's severed leg out with the sheep, and so they thought he was dead. But it turns out Butcher just cut off his leg because he's the scientist that can make him some more of that virus. And he's like, "Okay, you're gonna make me some more, mate," and then cut to black.
Yeah.
And that is a look on Carl Urban.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's the other thing that really I hate, because I'm such a big fan of Carl Urban, and Carl Urban genuinely brings his A game to almost every episode of the show. Even though I don't like the show, I can't help but like Carl.
Yeah.
And so like even though he uses the C word way too often in this show, but I do understand that that's an Australian thing, right? Is that it's totally socially acceptable for an Australian to use the C word just as a way to say hello. He's
actually a Kiwi, but that's fine.
No, but his character is Australian.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about Carl. I'm talking about the Butcher.
The Butcher, gotcha.
So the writing of his character. I understand that him using the C word is not out of character for where he's at and all that. At the same time, I really wish they could tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So flying pigs would have been better, says Creep. Green Acres is not the place to be, for sure. So what did you think of this episode of The Boys?
It was all right. Definitely not my favorite. In fact, I was gonna. Do you want to keep reviewing it?
That's up to you, man. If you want to keep watching it, we can. If I don't bother seeing next week's episode, am I going to freak out? Nope. This show does not, like with the Acolyte. I want to see what happens next.
Exactly.
With this show, I don't really care. If I
Yeah.
happen to see it, that's fine. But if I don't see it, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think I'd rather, I think I'd rather do 2 episodes of Battlestar next week than this,
Okay.
and than one of those in the boys. But like that, and also I've noticed, and you had a point. Maybe give it one more to see if this is not a fluke. But our lowest viewed live streams have been boys reviews,
Right.
consistently.
And I
So,
think that because, honestly, a lot of people, this season is so blatantly, blue pill.
yeah.
And it's just, it's painful to watch sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. Let us know in the chat if you're watching this live. Let us know in the comment section below. I'll take a look over everything. Let's say we'll make a decision, Tuesday when we get together. Should we continue to review the boys? Let us know your thoughts.
And Stan, I'm not sure what you mean when you say, well, got to be on board with language and gore. Look, language and gore in a show, in and of themselves, don't bother me. Like I said, the fact that Carl Urban uses the C word all the time, it doesn't break the show for me. I just wish they would tone it down a little bit, because you can tell there are times when he says it just so that they can say it again. That the writing is done to try to add shock value, and quite frankly, words like that don't really give shock value anymore, especially on something like a paid streaming service.
Creep. Hopefully you didn't say anything bad. What update? Let me know. When you message me for your prize pack, send me a link. I don't know if you're talking about a post on Twitter, on Instagram, or whatever. I don't have Facebook, so. But yeah, just let me know. And then so what about you? You asked me my thoughts, Salty. What are your thoughts?
I gotta say,